letter. Okay, for haloalkanes and haloarenes part, what are types of reaction involved? What is haloalkanes? Haloalkanes basically RCl, RX type of compounds are called haloalkanes or alkyl halide. Alkyl halide. R can be any alkyl group. It can be 1 degree, it can be 2-degree substance, it can be 3-degree substance. Okay, it can be 3-degree substance. Now, first write down what are the types of reactions present. Types of reactions. In this case, basically 4 types of reactions are present. First one is a basically addition reactions. For addition reactions, suppose RCH double bond CH2 any alkene is present. Here can I write HCl like this way, H plus Cl minus. Now if negative charge is present, what is the role? It can attract towards the positive charge. That's why we can say it is called nucleophile. Nucleophile means nucleus loving species. Nucleo means nucleus. Phile means love. Nucleus loving species. Okay. And H plus is basically electrophile. Electrophile is basically electron loving species. So addition reactions means this H and Cl added in this compound. So that's why these are named as addition reactions. Suppose Cl is added here and this one CH3. Okay, Cl and H is added. These are called addition reactions. Second type of reactions basically elimination reaction. I will discuss all the reactions later. Okay, elimination reaction. For elimination reaction, suppose this type of CH2 CH2Cl is present. Elimination is basically, what is elimination reaction? This one I am taking the leaving group which can leave easily. Leaving group. Removal of leaving group are called removal of leaving group. Leaving group are called elimination reactions. So after heat or any with presence of any base, this H and Cl removed and this single bond converted to double bond. These are called elimination reactions. Okay, these are basically elimination reactions. And third one is substitution reactions. For substitution reactions, suppose we can write like this way. These are a compound Lg. Lg represents any living group. And this one nucleophile. This nucleophile attack at this position, this bond eliminate. So we get RNU and living group eliminate. Okay. So basically Lg part eliminate or NU nucleophile substitute with Lg. These are called substitution reaction. And another is free radical mechanism. Free radical mechanism. Now, how the free radical gets formed? Suppose A and a compound is present, which is A and B. A and B. A molecule is present. This is one bond means 2 electron. Again, I am writing A and B. Suppose bond can break like 2 ways. The first way is basically the mutual divorce or mutual separations. one electron takes by atom A, another electron takes by atom B. This single atom means taking off one electron. So after taking off one electron, it becomes A dot, it becomes B dot. These are called free radicals. Okay, these are called free radicals, and the breaking of this bond is called homolytic cleavage. Or homolysis. Okay, and suppose A and B, I am taking electronegativity, assuming that electronegativity of B greater than electronegativity of A. In this case, one atom, this B atom is a more electronegative, that's why it can take two electron. This two electron it can take. So after taking two electron, it becomes B negative. After losing two electron, it becomes positive. So when the positive and negative charge formed after bond breaking, this type of bond breaking is called heterolysis or heterolytic cleavage. Or heterolysis. Is it clear? Any doubt regarding the homolytic cleavage and heterolytic cleavage part?
No, sir.
Okay. So tell me one thing, in which case more energy required? In which case means which bond breaking more energy required, for homolysis or heterolysis? Tell me. In which case more energy required? Answer me. Try, just try.
Sir,
Why?
heterolytic cleavage.
Why?
Because the electrons.
Look, heterolytic cleavage, that is correct. Why heterolytic cleavage? Because in that case you are separating two oppositely charged species. Oppositely charged species means having attraction is very high. Okay, that's why due to this separation we require more amount of energy. In this case these are neutral. These are basically neutrals, nothing else. These are neutral. So can I write for heterolysis more energy required? Because we are separating two oppositely charged species. Okay, any doubt up to that part? Any doubt? Okay, then I am talking about the what are reaction intermediates. What are the reaction intermediates present in any type of reaction mechanism? Reaction intermediates. Reaction intermediates. Reaction intermediates means reaction proceed in which way, which direction. These are called reaction intermediates. First of all, we can say carbocation. Second, carbanion. Third, free radical. Fourth, carbene mechanism. Fifth, nitrene mechanism. Okay, these are basically these 5 intermediates is required to, or another is also important, that is
Sir,
benzene.
what is second one, sir?
carb anion. Okay, benzene. Okay, basically these two intermediates is very important carbon anion mechanism. Some reactions goes through the carbon anion and carbene mechanism. The most important carbene mechanism example is Reimer-Tiemann reactions. Reimer-Tiemann reaction. Another reactions, all the reactions are present. Just a minute. Sorry. Now for nitrate mechanism, one of the very important, that is Hoffman bromide. This is in nitrogen containing compound chapter. Hoffman bromide degradation. And another for benzene case, benzene mechanism is basically benzene ring with benzene ring associated with an ionic bond. Associated with an extra ionic bond. Ionic bond. Okay. These are basic six intermediates are present. Today I will discuss about the carbocation mechanism and how to rearrange the carbocation. Okay. So next is like write down carbocation and rearrangement of carbocation. Rearrangement of carbocation. This part is little bit present in class 11 also. Basically, these are GOC chapter, but in some cases, I am just today's class. I am just actually go through the class 11 topic little bit because SN1 reaction is totally based on carbocation mechanism. Okay, without carbocation mechanism, how the carbocation reactions rearrangement proceed. If you don't know, then SN1 will be difficult to understand. It's not possible to understand actually. Not difficult, not possible. Now, what is carbocation? Carbocation is basically RCH2 plus. So, if you write down this one, what? This one is a carbon, this one is any alkyl group, hydrogen is present, and these two are basically vacant. So, how many sigma bond is present? Three single bond means three sigma bond is present. So, can I write in this case three sigma bond is present? That's why the hybridization is sp2 hybridized. Chemical bonding, you know that 3 sigma bond means sp2, 4 sigma bond sp3, 2 sigma bond is. If sp2 hybridized, what is the shape of carbocation? Planar shape. So if carbocation is planar, suppose carbocation is on plane, this one is a carbocation. So any nucleophile can attack top of the plane, it can also attack from the bottom of the plane. That's why we can say for carbocation we get racemic mixture. Racemic mixture. Now, what is racemic mixture? Please go to the optical isomer part, class 11. Okay, racemic mixture. And carbocation is basically positively charged species. So, How many 3 sigma bond? One bond means 2 electron. Here 3 bond is present. So total number of electron is 6 electron. 6 electron means octet can here not satisfied here. That's why you can say this is an electron deficient compound. Electron deficient compound. And in this case, no unpaired electron is present. No unpaired electron is present. That's why unpaired electron present. That's why these are the diamagnetic species. Diamagnetic species. Okay. Okay. Now, how the carbocation generates? How the carbocation generates? In that case, you have to know the solvent concept. Solvent can be two part. One is polar solvent, and another is a non-polar solvent. Now, for polar solvent, basically dipole moment not equals to 0. Here, dipole moment equals to 0. Example, if you go through CCl4, okay, CCl4, CS2, these are the non-polar solvent. For polar solvent like H2O, ether, alcohol, these are polar solvent. Now, polar solvent can be classified into two parts. One is polar protic solvent. Polar protic solvent, I am writing PPS in short. And another is a polar aprotic solvent. Aprotic solvent. Now, for polar aprotic solvent, I am writing PAS in short. The example of polar protic, what are polar protic solvent? Polar protic solvent having replaceable H plus ion. Replaceable H plus ion. In that case, no replaceable H plus ion. No replaceable H plus. Now, what do you mean by replaceable H plus ion? Suppose alcohol. In this case, this hydrogen directly associated with one electronegative element. Those hydrogen which are directly attached with electronegative element, these are called replaceable hydrogen. That means this hydrogen can be replaced or eliminated. We get RO minus and H plus. Okay, same case for water. We can write like this way. After dissociation, it gives H plus OH minus. Any of the hydrogen can replace. Okay, these are called replaceable hydrogen. Replaceable hydrogen means hydrogen is directly attached with electronegative element. Those hydrogen can be replaced. These are called replaceable hydrogen, and replaceable hydrogen is the main condition for polar protic solvent. Now go for the polar aprotic solvent. Polar aprotic solvent is no replaceable hydrogen is present. If you go for ether, example is CH3 dimethyl ether. In this case, look, hydrogen is attached with carbon. Carbon is not an electronegative element. Okay, that's why no hydrogen is present. No replaceable hydrogen is present. Hydrogen present. So for polar protic solvent, oxygen is an electronegative. That's why we can write del minus. In this case, we can write del minus as well as del plus. What is del minus? Del minus is basically partial negative. Del represent partial charge. Del represent partial charge. What is the difference between charge and partial charge? For charge case, suppose charge species, this bond can break. After breaking, it can convert A plus B minus. For partial case, suppose this one is a partial concept only valid for covalent compound. Remember, okay, partial case only valid for covalent compound, and charge case only valid for ionic compound. In this case, this one is a this one is a covalent compound, and B is a more electronegative. That's why it can attack electron towards itself. Okay, it can attack bonded electron towards itself. That's why in del minus, del plus is can approach, and del minus means this bond can never breaks. Okay, these are called del minus are called partial negative charge. partial negative charge, and del plus is partial positive charge. Remember, only charged compound plus minus plus 2 minus 2. These are only valid for ionic compound. For covalent compound, only partial concept required. Okay, these are polar protic solvent. Now, how the carbocation gets generated? How? Suppose I have RLG. LG is the living group. LG can be any living group. Any living group. Okay. When this LG, RLG, taken in a polar protic solvent, LG is a living group means more electronegative group. Living group is basically more electronegative group. It can be chlorine, bromine, iodine like this way. After breaking, it becomes R plus and Lg minus. This R plus is basically carbocation. And this carbocation is highly stable in a polar protic solvent. Why? Suppose I am taking this carbocation is a any CCC positive charge. Any carbocation. Now this carbocation, and when you take polar protic solvent, we can write basically water. And if I take this one is a del minus, this one is a del plus. So one zone, one side is basically the negative side, another side is a positive side. So this negative side of the water molecule is directly added with carbocation. In this carbocation, like this one. Okay. And these are called, this theory are called solvation. Due to solvation, carbocation is highly stable in polar protic solvent. Due to solvation, carbocation is highly stable in polar protic solvent. Polar protic solvent. Okay, these are basic information about carbocation. Any doubt regarding the carbocation part? Do you have any doubt? This part is clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I am go through the rearrangement of carbocation, the most important part. Okay, rearrangement of carbocation. Now rearrangement of carbocation. Why rearrangement occurs? First of all, because to gain the stability of carbocation, rearrangement only occurs when after rearrangement, if you get more stable carbocation, then only the rearrangement can happen. Otherwise, not. Okay. So after rearrangement, more stable carbocation we get. Okay. Now, how the rearrangement occurs? Suppose we have like this way. This one is a carbocation. Now, for carbocation stability, you have to know about alpha H concept. Now, what is alpha H? What is alpha carbon? This one is a carbocation. This carbocation directly attached with this carbon. This carbon is called alpha carbon. What is alpha carbon? Those carbon which is directly attached with positive charge. Those carbon which is directly attached with carbocation, these are called alpha carbon. Now in alpha carbon, how many hydrogen is present? Only 2. So in this case, can I write alpha H is 2? Okay. If one hydrogen is rearranged from this one to this one, okay, always rearrangement happens from alpha carbon. Remember, always rearrangement happens from alpha carbon. If hydride are shift, after shifting, what we get? The middle one becomes positive charge, and here CH2, after getting one hydrogen, it becomes CH3. Now, which one is the alpha carbon? This carbon is directly attached with carbocation, as well as this carbon is directly attached with carbocation. Now, how many hydrogen is present here? 3. Here 3. So alpha H value is 6. Is it clear? Any doubt? Any doubt? So always remember, after rearrangement, alpha H value should be increased. Alpha H value should be increased means if alpha H increases, stability of carbocation is also increases. Stability of C plus means carbocation is also increases. Any doubt? Do you have any doubt regarding this part?
No, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. Now, what type of rearrangement can happen? Here I am shifting the hydrogen. Look, I am giving some example. Like this one is another example. Now, in this case, first write down what is alpha H. This one is the alpha carbon, only one hydrogen. Alpha H equals to 1. Now, hydride can be shifted. This hydrogen group can be shifted here. As well as we can say this methyl group can be shifted. As well as we can say this ethyl group can be shifted. So, if the ethyl group are shifting, first I am shifting this ethyl group here. If the ethyl group are shifting, this sign represents the shifting sign. This like this way. Okay. So this one is CH. In this CH, basically one CH3 is present. This one is CH2, and ethyl group directly added with this one. So just write down ethyl group means CH2, CH3, and positive charge comes here. Just write down the alpha H. This one is alpha carbon. This one is alpha carbon. Alpha H value is 5. Okay. Is it clear? Now look, if the methyl group are shifted, then we can write CH3, CH2, here CH with CH2, CH3. Now in this case, just write down the alpha carbon. This one is alpha carbon. Alpha H value is 4. If the hydrogen is shifted, what is the alpha H value? CH3, CH2. This one is the middle carbon. This one with CH3 and this CH2. After taking one hydrogen, it becomes CH3. This one alpha carbon, alpha carbon, alpha carbon. Total number of alpha H 3 plus 3 plus 2. Alpha H value is 8. Okay, alpha H value is 8. Now tell me in which case shifting possibilities is high. In which case shifting possibility is high? Definitely this one. That's why priority of shifting. Priority of shifting. Remember, hydride is the most priority. Priority of shifting. Hydride priority is the most. After that, phenyl group, then any alkyl group. In case of alkyl group, always remember for propyl group, PR means propyl group shifting is greater than ethyl group than methyl group. That means number of carbon increases, shifting possibilities increases. Number of carbon increases, shifting priority increases. Is it clear? Any doubt regarding this part? Do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Another thing, just write down alpha H value. If just write down here, if alpha H value remains same, remains same or decreases, no rearrangement takes place. Takes place. Okay, and this one is an example of hydride shifting, these two are example of alkyl shifting, any alkyl. Okay, is it clear? Next, the shifting case, what procedure will follow? Suppose example, this one is a group CH3, CH2, CH3H. I am taking the previous example. Which one is the most shifting priority? We all know that when hydrogen is shifted here, we get most stable carbocation. In this case, alpha H value is high. That's why we can say this one is the most stable carbocation as compared to this one and this one. Okay, most stable carbocation. Now, in this case, if hydride is shifted, we can write like this way. Positive charge. What is the number of alpha carbon? Just write down alpha H value. We all know that. Already discussed, that is 8. Now, when the shifting arises, basically it follows like this way. CH3, CH2. This hydrogen bond is breaking. We are dotted line is represent the breaking of bond, and this line represent the formation of bond. Okay, and this bond is formed. So basically, it follows a 3-member cyclic transition state. This one is a transition state. This one hydrogen. Just a minute. And this one is a, this represent the transition state. So basically we can say this one is basically 3-member cyclic transition state. 3-member cyclic transition state. So carbocation rearrangement always follows 3-member cyclic transition state. Cyclic transition state. Okay, and this one,
Sir, this is nothing but ring expansion, sir.
no. Ring expansion is totally different thing, not ring expansion, because this is a transition state. Transition state means this bond is not fixed, easily breaks, easily formed. Okay, suppose you are going to Hyderabad to Secunderabad. Okay, suppose A is a stoppage. This stoppage is a transition state. This is your initial state, this is your final state. This is initial, this is final, and these two is important. The transition state concept is not important. Only some mechanism case. Why 3-member cyclic transition state is important, that I will discuss later. Because for ring expansion case 6-2, when 6-member ring associated with 3-member ring, that is not possible. Okay,
Yes, sir.
sorry, 5-member ring is associated with 3-member. That's why cyclic transition state concept is important, but that is not a ring expansion. Ring expansion is totally different. Okay, now I am going through an example which is basically the phenyl shifting. Phenyl shifting is basically shifting of phenyl group, that means benzene group. Suppose this one is present, pH means any benzene group. Here C2H5 alkyl group is present, CH2. If you go through the alpha H value is 0 here. After shifting of phenyl, we get like this way, CH3. Here this one is a CH2 CH3, and this one CH2 pH. Now in this case, look, alpha H value 3 plus 2 plus 2. Alpha H becomes 7. That's why phenyl shifting also happens, and phenyl shifting priority is greater than definitely the alkyl shift. Any doubt? Do you have any doubt regarding this part?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. Please join for next meeting. Less than 1 minute left. Next meeting ID same. All the are same. Then I will do some questions and what is room data copy. Okay. Quick join. I am ending this one. Okay.